is going on, everybody? My name is Nick Person. I'm one of the co-authors on the book Saving Sodom, and this is
Jeff Lupinacci. All right. It's great to be your guide on this journey for you to personally save your Sodom.
Come on. And what's awesome, Jeff, so we've all heard of Lot or are familiar with them. From my perspective, a lot of times when we talk about Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah, I'm going, that was not a good story. Lot blew it. But we are learning even through the book that there is some redeemable things that we can learn from Lot. There are some things that we can apply to our faith right now and put that into motion right where we are. So why don't you give us a little bit deeper understanding of who this Lot was and how it can impact us today? So,
Thanks, Nick. It's always interesting to me when you look at different Bible characters, how much real estate, how much story they're given.
Yeah.
And Lot, surprisingly, has about 3 chapters where he's either the main character or a key supporting character. As a point of reference, Noah had 4 chapters, Jonah had 4 chapters. So, maybe not on that same level, but there's enough there that I think God's telling us there's something we can learn from Lot. Now, who was Lot? Well, Lot was the nephew of Abraham.
Okay.
Lot's father had passed away, and Abraham had taken him under his wing. And when God called Abraham to leave the land that he was in Ur, to go to a land that God would show him. He didn't tell him where he was going.
Just going somewhere. Here we go.
Out of obedience, Abraham follows, and Lot goes along with him. It's because Lot also had a belief and a faith in the divine God, right? We're told in 2 Peter 2:7 that Lot was considered righteous by God. So we know that Lot had a faith. He follows along with Abraham. They have a lot of exciting adventures. And because of the obedience, God not only blesses Abraham, but he blesses Lot.
Yeah.
They get to the point where they both have too much cattle, too many people that are working for them. They've just grown too big to live together in the same land. So they decide that they'd split up. Abraham, being the uncle that he was, he let Lot have the first choice. And so Lot looked out and he saw the cities of the plains, which was Sodom and Gomorrah and 3 other cities. And at the time, they were really influential cities in the region. All the new things, all the new ideas, all the crazy ideas were coming out of Sodom and Gomorrah. So I actually believe that God nudged Lot to go to Sodom. Lot was righteous, and he needed. God wanted to have someone in Sodom to reflect Him to the people that were living there.
And we know a little bit that so. You felt like God is nudging Lot to go to this city.
I think so.
So Lot's in this city, and he's there. He has a wife and 2 daughters, right?
Yep.
But yet, still, Sodom ended up being wiped out.
Wiped out.
Why do you think that was? I mean, what did Lot? He went there to influence it, but for some reason that didn't happen. What do you think was behind that? Like, what went wrong?
It's really interesting because I always believed that Sodom was just the city of sexual sin, right? And I could picture very clearly. Okay, you know what? Lot didn't want any part of that, so he just isolated himself and his family from that. But you know what? It goes a little bit deeper. Where here's where I think we can have a lesson that we can learn from Lot. In Ezekiel 16:49, God is talking to the prophet Ezekiel, and he says, this was the sin of your sister Sodom. He's talking to Israel, right, through Ezekiel. She and her daughters were arrogant. This is Sodom. The people, the citizens there were arrogant. They were overfed, unconcerned. They did not help the poor and needy. They were haughty and did detestable things before me. Therefore, I destroyed her. So, what is that? Arrogant? Well, America, gosh, if you look at any survey around the world, many countries think Americans are arrogant. What about overfed? We're the overweight capital of the world. didn't care for the poor and needy. Nick, did you know there's 45 million people living in poverty in the United States?
Wow.
45 million out of 300 million. That's just it seems like we haven't changed too much from what Lot was experiencing in Sodom. And so while it might have been easy for Lot to say no to the sexual sin, why wasn't he helping the poor and needy? Why wasn't he going out there and being compassionate and showing the God of the universe to everybody else in this city? And I think there are 4 things that might have kept him from going out and reaching out, similar to what we might see today. I think he was afraid. I think he was afraid to step out when no one else had a faith in God. He was fearful. Maybe he didn't think he was worthy, right? His uncle was Abraham, right? So I'd feel unworthy too. I think he probably got complacent. 15 years in a city, he had a great life. He was wealthy. Had a wife, 2 daughters, and I think he isolated himself a bit from the detestable things that were going on, and so I think those are some of the things that we can learn from on what he did, so we can do them differently here and now.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. So Lot, in essence, he had these questions. He didn't feel good enough, but yet the Lord was inviting him to put his faith in motion. We know he had a relationship with the Lord, and so the invitation was given to him, hey, take a step. Yeah, you might not feel that you're worthy. Yeah, you might not feel that you're adequate, but I'm inviting you to take a step, put that faith in motion, and to walk out what this relationship means, and really to play your part. And we get the same invitation, right?
Absolutely.
The Lord is inviting us to put our faith in motion, but it always begins with a step and accepting the invitation that the Lord gives us to play our part and to walk that out. And so
he is looking for his righteous to put their faith into action.
Come on.
So this week, you have an opportunity to start your journey in putting your faith in action.